how the Google Ads auction impacts your ad position.
Hmm.
So, Chris, a lot of people think, well, it's cost per click bidding. You just bid the most, you'll show up number one. It's not that simple. We call it a modified auction. Why don't you explain a little bit into ad rank and how ad rank works and determines positions?
So one thing to key in there, for those of you that are new to Google Ads, Jason said auction. You may not realize it, but Google Ads is a live auction that's happening constantly. And there is a tremendous amount of algorithm, math, all kinds of stuff that's happening to determine which ad is going to show up. It's very dynamic.
Why don't you go into that, Chris?
Yeah, right.
Why don't you
right.
go into some of those algorithms?
Let me just explain it in just a podcast. Yeah, it's so complex that even if we try to explain it, there's still stuff we don't even know. That
Probably
Google
don't know the most. You know how they say dark matter, like around us, like we only see 20% of the real world or whatever it is.
That's it.
That's probably the way it is with the auctions as well. We don't really. What are we?
We don't really know,
Like,
what we don't know. So when we talk about ad rank, what we're talking about is the one thing that we do know, and what Google has told us. An ad rank is the end result of a very simple formula, at least simple from what they've told us. It's quality score times your bid.
Times your bid, yeah.
Times your bid. So
yeah,
when you choose a bid, you're only influencing half of the equation. Okay, so we're going to talk about bids here and how you can get to number one. You've chosen your keyword. Now you're going to choose your bid. But be aware, and this is where we'll talk about at the end of the show, stuff you got wrong. This is the key part when we come back to it. You got your quality score wrong. You got your quality score wrong. You got something wrong in the quality score. But all you need to focus on at this early part of the process is choosing a bid. It's really simple. So quality score is basically Google telling you, hey, you didn't follow all of our rules, or we don't like your website, or we don't like your ads, or we don't like your keywords even. That influences your quality score. But on your side, you choose the bid. And it's as simple as picking a number. Jason, I think I know your answer, but is there a wrong bid to pick? Just if someone's like, I don't know what to do, I need to research my bid number and buy some kind of keyword research tool just to understand what my very first day one bid should be. Should they be at that kind of anxiety level?
Well, Chris, I am the number one Google Ads manager on the planet, and as I've discussed a few weeks ago, it's not what I'm doing now is not for now; it's for legacy. That's the thing that motivates me, and I did not get there by luck. I read, I study. Right now I'm reading a book called Invent and Wander, the collected writings of Jeff Bezos by Walter Isaacson. And one of the things he talked about recently in the book was one of the things with Jeff Bezos' decision-making. He breaks down decisions into decisions you can reverse and then decisions that you cannot reverse. And the decisions you can reverse, you take risk and you do things because you can always go back. But the decisions where you can't reverse, those are true risk, and you better get those right and be more hesitant to do them. Now, how that's relevant here is your bids are a risk or a decision that you can easily reverse. And it's one of the easiest things in the world to do. You just change your bid inside the account. So, no, I don't think there's a wrong bid amount to go with. Maybe I misread you, and maybe
you're right.
I'm way off. But yeah, there's not a. Yeah, I mean, even I'm scared to say it. It sounds a little weird to say there's not an incorrect bid, but there's bids that don't get you what you want on different sides of things. You can be too low, too high, but there's not an incorrect bid because you can just change it. Now, ad rank, Chris, that determines whose ads get to show and in what order they show. The highest ad rank ad shows up number one, second highest ad rank number two, quality score times bid. What we're talking about now is the bid. If someone's new to Google Ads and they want to be number one, but they don't know what to bid, I guess we have two options. You can do manual bidding, and you can just throw on a bid that you think is high. And then you can look at your columns, which we'll talk about here in a second, and you can see where you're showing up with your position. And that's simple. And if you give it a couple days and you're not showing up high enough, you can raise your bid. If you give it a couple days and you think there's a volume for your keyword, you do that search and you see other people's ads and you don't see your ad at all, your bid is probably too low. And there's also a status column there that will tell you you're below the first page bid. So you can look for that as well. You can do it manually and try to find that right bid range by looking at your position columns. The other thing you can do, Chris, is you can put on max clicks automated bidding. You can leave that on for a week or 2 weeks. See what your average cost per click comes in at. Look at your position columns, and then if the goal is to get number one, you can change it to manual and bid a lot based on what you're seeing there is the max clicks average bid. You can take that and raise it manually. There's another option, Chris, about impression share. You can target impression share and show up number one, but last time we talked about that, it didn't go well. So we'll hold and we don't really run that one hardly ever. So we do a lot of manual bidding, and then we also, I think it's safe to say, do a lot of maximize clicks bidding, at least to some extent. So those are your main two options if you want to kind of get to full control, showing up number one, which would be manual bids.